Are you trying to establish your brand as a thought leader? Start a podcast, invite industry experts to be guests on your show, and watch your brand become the prime resource for decision makers in your industry. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to B2B Growth, a daily podcast for B2B leaders. We've interviewed names you've probably heard before, like Gary Vaynerchuk and Simon Sinek, but you've probably never heard from the majority of our guests. That's because the bulk of our interviews aren't with professional speakers and authors. Most of our guests are in the trenches leading sales and marketing teams. They're implementing strategy. They're experimenting with tactics. They're building the fastest growing B2B companies in the world. My name is James Carberry. I'm the founder of Sweetfish Media, a podcast agency for B2B brands, and I'm also one of the co-hosts of this show. When we're not interviewing sales and marketing leaders, you'll hear stories from behind the scenes of our own business. We'll share the ups and downs of our journey as we attempt to take over the world. Just kidding. Well, maybe. Let's get into the show.
Welcome to the SEM series of the B2B Growth Podcast. My name is Blake Emal, and I want to give you just a little idea of what this podcast series is going to be like. I'm going to be talking about search engine marketing, SEM, as well as organic efforts like SEO. I'm going to be talking about how to take your digital marketing strategy and apply it to your business so you can grow your website, grow your customer base, and convert them into loyal customers via the internet. I want to give you an introduction to me and my experiences, but really the goal here is to provide you with just a short 5 to 10 minute episode per month about SEM and SEO that'll help you on your commute, make things a little bit easier at least once per month. So, like I said, my name is Blake. I have 5 years of experience in digital marketing now. I actually started out in digital marketing doing only SEO, specifically only doing on-page optimizations for clients in the French language. And most of my clients were in Canada. I was working in Utah for an SEO company, learned a ton from that company. It was a really valuable experience. And over time, I've just kind of started building my own websites, building my own things, doing my own social media, and learning the full gambit of marketing. So now I'm a full funnel digital marketer. I work for a company called Directive Consulting, and I actually run the podcast at Directive Consulting as well, called Yours in Marketing. So please check it out. I'm really thrilled to have this opportunity to be on the B2B Growth Podcast, and I hope that you enjoy this inaugural episode where I'm going to be talking about the very first step, the very foundation, the basics of improving your SEM, your search engine marketing. So if you have a business, if you are a marketer, or if you want to become a marketer, please take a listen and let me know what you think after the episode. Let's get right into it. Hey leaders, how is everything going? Hope you are having a fantastic week. I'm happy to be on the B2B Growth Podcast with the SEM series. My name is Blake Emal, I'm your host, and today we're going to be talking about improving your search engine marketing and your SEO. We'll talk a little bit about that as well, but specifically just SEM. And I want to talk about the most overlooked element of all paid advertising and organic SEO. So let's start right there. There are so many different factors that go into a full funnel strategy for digital marketing. There's so many things that contribute to you being successful or not being successful online. There are so many things that contribute to you growing a social media following, growing your organic traffic, increasing your conversions. But really, if I had to say what is the number one thing that you should focus on in 2019, right now, if you had to drop everything else and the only thing you could focus on was this one thing, what would it be? And unequivocally, without a shadow of a doubt, I would say that that thing is user experience. And let me explain why. I'm not talking about design. The design of your website is important. You shouldn't just throw HTML text on your website and call it good. That's not good enough anymore. Your social media shouldn't be poorly designed, but when I say user experience, I'm really talking about the heart and soul of everything you're putting out there. And I want to start by asking you some questions. If you have a website, if you've ever created a website, a blog, if you've ever made a video on social media, run a Google ad, put out a LinkedIn post, whatever it is, anytime you've done any of these things, did you ask yourself the following questions? What question or problem am I answering right now? What other answers already exist to this question? How can I make my answer match the user's intent and provide killer value? Am I putting humans before robots in the way that I'm presenting this information? And once that content is live, do you ask yourself, how are people responding to it? And where can improvements be made? These are the kinds of questions that every single piece of content, every website, every page, every social media post needs to answer before going live. And the reason is because too often, as leaders, as marketers, we're just putting things out there because we have deadlines. We're putting things out there because we think that that's what's best. But really, are we asking the questions that lead us to know for sure if that's what's best? If I want to put out a social media post about growing your website's organic traffic, I shouldn't just make a post, start writing with no information, with no research. And of course, you would never do this. But sometimes the things that we research even aren't answering these questions that are necessary. If I wanted to write a blog post about that particular topic, growing your SEO traffic, your organic traffic, I should start by saying, what's the real question that people would search for? What's the problem that they're having that I know how to answer well, that I can provide killer value on? I should also be asking, what other articles, what other videos, what other resources have been created that already answer this question? And how is what I bring to the table going to be better? How am I going to match the user's intent? If people are looking at growing their organic traffic, are they looking for informational pieces or are they looking for buyer intent pieces by an agency? I need to know these things. Am I putting humans before robots? Am I presenting this in a way that actually sounds like a human being wrote it? Is it easy to read? Is it engaging? Does it ask questions? Does it call people to action? Instead of just being robotic text, is it skimmable? Is it easy to read? If I only got 3 seconds to read this article, could I skim through it and at least get one new idea? And then once that's all live, am I actually looking at how people care about it or not? Are they responding well or are they responding poorly to it? Do I need to make improvements? Do I need to take it down altogether? These are the questions that lead us to a greater overall user experience on a website. And I think it is absolutely crucial to ask these things every time we put out anything at all. Any content, any new website, any new core page, any social media post. I highly recommend being very deliberate about what question am I answering, what answers already exist, all of those questions. So overall, the future of SEO and the future of SEM, it's trending heavily toward putting humans before robots. So if you can do nothing else right now other than say, can we just be a little more natural in the way we present our information? That would be good enough. That would be a start. It's great to have the most links, the highest domain authority, the longest article, but you know what impresses search engines and users the most? It all boils down to how well you solve important problems. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a great opportunity for me so far to be a part of the B2B Growth family. Please listen to my other podcast, Yours in Marketing, where I interview thought leaders and B2B leaders and marketers in any industry you can imagine. And thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you again.
We totally get it. We publish a ton of content on this podcast, and it can be a lot to keep up with. That's why we've started the B2B Growth Big Three, a no-fluff email that boils down our 3 biggest takeaways from an entire week of episodes. Sign up today at sweetfishmedia.com/big3. That's sweetfishmedia.com/big3.